today's card, I started off with some white cardstock that I die cut with the largest Spellbinders Label 4 dies, one of my absolute favorites. And then the stamps that I chose to use was the Paper Smooches Pretty Phrases set, obviously the Love one. So I inked it up with my Brilliance Graphite Black ink, which I remembered to re-ink this time, so it is good and deep and black the way I love it. And I stamped that in the middle of the die cut piece, just like so. And then I'm using my new Basic Gray Kissing Booth pattern papers, and I cut several 1-inch strips from the pack, just like so, and then I'm going to layer them onto a piece of Stampin' Up! Crumb Cake cardstock. You could even use scraps for this, like it wouldn't have to be so perfect, like you could just adhere them down haphazardly and it would look just as good, but for today's card, I wanted it to be very clean and straight and, you know. So I got all the pattern paper pieces adhered, and then I grabbed a couple different little Prima flowers from my stash and was going to attach those, and then I thought that the big white piece, there was just too much white going on, so I cut a really thin strip of another one of the pattern papers from the Basic Gray pack, and then I adhered that just under the sentiment, just to kind of decorate it a bit, and then I just flipped it over and used my paper snips to cut along the curves of the die cut piece so that it fits in very nicely. So really quick, really simple. Yeah, so once I've got that done and how I want it, it's just a matter of adhering that to the card front, and then time for embellishing. So I wasn't sure at first where to put the flowers, but then I thought the lower right would work, and then to attach them I grabbed one of these little brads with the little tiny banner attached from the Basic Gray Kissing Booth collection, and I wanted to stamp something on it, so I grabbed this little Smooches stamp. This is from my Hearty Sayings stamp set. So I stamped that with the Brilliance ink, and then I had to heat set it because those little tags and everything they've got like a glossy finish to them. So if you don't heat set it, it will smear everywhere. And then I grabbed a piece of AmyR's, this is the sheer black ribbon with the polka dots, and just slipped it under the main image sentiment and tied it in a bow. And then finally attached the little Prima flowers. I just adjusted how I had them sitting so you could see the full sentiment. And again, if you hear that bell jingling in the background, it's my cat. Got a big cardboard box just outside with the door of where I am, and she goes nuts over it. Anyway, push the brad through, so I've attached that, and you can see, because of the way it's attached, you can fold it up a little bit so it fits in an envelope, and then it comes back down. So just a cute little interactive element. And then finally, I wanted to add more brads. Again, I just thought there was just too much white going on, so I grabbed some more brads from the pack and grabbed 3 different sizes, the large one, a medium one, and a small one, and pierced a few holes and got those into place. And that's my AmyR Memory Keepers brad piercing and setting tool. Absolute love. Really hard to find for some reason. So many sites don't have it, so I don't know if they're sold out or I don't know. Anyway. And then finally, I decided to color in all of the closed spaces in the sentiment with just an RV34 Copic marker. You could use any marker for this, it wouldn't have to be Copic. So there's no blending or anything. I just grabbed that color because it matched with the pinks of the cardstock. And finally, use my ATG to adhere this to the card base itself, which is Stampin' Up! Basic Black cardstock. So once I've got all that done, just touched up real quick a little bit of the coloring I had done, and then I'm moving on to the inside of the card. So I grabbed another piece of the craft cardstock, crumb cake, used to be called craft, whatever, and I had scraps left over from cutting all those strips, so I just trimmed them down a little bit so that they didn't take up the whole inside of the card, and again just adhered them in the same layout I had done on the front, just along the bottom. And then I grabbed this sentiment from my lovely sentiment stamp set. This is one of my favorite sentiments. So I grabbed that, stamped it with the Brilliance ink, and that's all there was to it. So really quick and simple card. You could do it in more masculine colors if you wanted, like just reds and blacks, and like left out, if you leave out the pink and the flowers and everything else, it'd be great for a guy card too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!